Okay, hi everyone. I am doing kind of an off the Monday podcast hosting for Whitney Koch with Women in Manufacturing. And hopefully I'll get through this without a lot of glitches. But anyway, thank you so much for attending. And I happen to work in the transportation industry and was connected with Whitney through just looking for some industries that
I think Teresa's having a little tech.
Okay, everyone, sorry about that. I don't know what happened. So anyway, I was connecting with Women in Manufacturing because I transportation and it seemed interesting. That's an industry that all right, I'm pretty sure that's not going to come back on. Okay, so let's just go ahead and start over. Thank you everyone for attending this podcast with Whitney Koch for Women in Manufacturing. I'm so glad I know Whitney. She's so wonderful, especially through some of this.
Just waiting to see if Teresa's going to be able to jump back on. Are you there, Teresa?
Yeah, I'm here. Oh my gosh, I have no idea what's happening. I even deleted that.
Technology is great when it works.
That was so weird. I mean, I even deleted. Oh my goodness. Let's see. We have a comment.
Yeah, we got a couple of people joining us.
Hey, John. Hi, Karen. For your attending. Um, okay. I'm actually gonna take the background music off and see if that helps. Oh, okay. All right. It looks kind of safe at the moment. Um, so Whitney, let's just skip them. I absolutely love the networking opportunity through women in manufacturing, and I think one of the things that it was so curious about, because kind of a male dominant industry or industries, and I'm always curious how
Oh, you're frozen on my side, Teresa. Do you want me to talk a little bit about women in manufacturing as an organization and the Texas chapter? We'll see if Teresa's connection is able to resolve itself. Just want to say hello and thank you to the friends who are here. Oh, are you coming back, Teresa? I see a couple of friendly faces. John Buglino, Karen Rivera, who is the lead for Women in Manufacturing Texas, and our friend Diane Beyer, some awesome supporters of American manufacturing. And that's really how I got to know Teresa, through Women in Manufacturing at a meet and greet in the Houston area. Oh,
someone I worked with inside UPS in the inside corporate office. So say hi.
oh, your audio cut out a little bit, Teresa. Were you asking a question? So Teresa and I met at a Houston area meet and greet. When was that, Teresa? Was that January? No, not January. It was a few months ago. February, I think, maybe. And in the Texas chapter, we like to have meet and greets. It's just an informal opportunity for some networking of women in manufacturing, also allies in manufacturing. And Angela Thurman is the regional lead for Houston. And she's the one who plans our awesome events, like our meet and greets. We do those monthly at a restaurant in the Energy Corridor area, which is a section of Houston. Houston is such a big city. It's just too big to cover all that territory with one person. So we meet for dinner at a restaurant and just get to have some conversation, talk a little bit about the industry and how we're all involved. Some are working directly with manufacturers, others are providing services to the manufacturing industry. And it's just a really great opportunity to get outside of the office, or if you work from home, get outside of your home office and spend some time connecting with other women in the industry. One thing that I've really enjoyed about it is getting to see different sectors of manufacturing. As Teresa was mentioning in the beginning, she's sort of on the logistics shipping side of things. I used to be part of a manufacturing company serving the oil and gas industry, manufacturing equipment for them. And now I'm part of a marketing agency that provides services to all types of businesses, including different types of manufacturers. So it's just really interesting to bring all of these different people and perspectives together and to learn about each other, learn from each other in a really informal setting. And also really enjoy getting to take part in all the other virtual events that are hosted by other WIM chapters or the WIM national organization, and just getting to spend time with some like-minded women and allies. You back, Teresa? I'll just keep talking a little bit about women in manufacturing. So some other exciting things that are coming up since we're already in August. The end of September is WIM Summit, and that is the conference where members from women in manufacturing, all the different chapters get together, and it's like a multi-day conference. This year, Summit is going to be in San Diego. And I know Karen is here in the audience. She can probably share a little bit in the chat what Summit is like. I have never been, but I know there are keynote speakers, and it's just like any other conference that you might go to where there are classes that you can attend, networking opportunities. There's also a 5K event, and it's a great opportunity to meet WIM members from across the country, and then also get to know members from different parts of your state, especially in Texas. We're such a huge state, so spread out. So it's a nice opportunity to get everyone together in that way. What else have we got going on? Manufacturing Day and Manufacturing Month are coming up. I know in the Houston chapter, that's something that we are really excited about and working on coordinating plant tours in the Dallas area, looking to replicate that in Houston as well. So across the cities, we can just get together and celebrate Manufacturing Day together and get to check out some of the awesome manufacturing happening in our state. Hey, it looks like you're back, Teresa. Oh, I spoke too soon. Okay. So tell me in the comments, are any of you members of Women in Manufacturing? I know you are, Karen. I appreciate you so much for being here. Appreciate you for all the work that you do for Women in Manufacturing in Texas, and really just promoting the manufacturing industry and helping build relationships, professional relationships. WIM is also a great opportunity to have some develop some leadership skills, right? If you are in a different state and you're a member of WIM, you can see about volunteering to organize events. You can help with membership. You can potentially serve on the board. It's an awesome opportunity to learn some new skills, meet some new people, and something that you can also put on your resume, potentially show what you're able to do outside of work, making an impact for a big organization and for the manufacturing industry. Hey, there you are.
Thanks, Whitney. Oh my gosh, you're so great. I left off where you were asking me what month that I attended a meeting and we actually got to meet in person. So that is the wonderful thing about LinkedIn is I had had a few like Zoom calls with Amanda and noticed, I think I noticed your name on the sign-in list at the meeting, and I think that's how we might have connected the dots that there had been a bit of chatting back and forth beforehand, just on other topics, and
yeah, I think that's a really neat thing about Women in Manufacturing events, especially the more informal networking events like the meet and greets, where you can connect with other members on a more personal level. It's not always just about work, right? And we can kind of be our full selves and share just about our regular lives, but then also we have this thing in common, that we are somehow involved in manufacturing, and that just gives us a starting point for a relationship, for conversations, something that we can build on. So Teresa and I connected through a mutual LinkedIn friend, Amanda, and I'm pretty sure we had just seen each other's names in the comments, and then we ended up at this Houston meet and greet together, and I saw her name, saw her face, like, I know you. So LinkedIn is kind of a small world in that way. And I think also being involved in a professional organization like WIM makes the world even smaller, right? Not everybody joins a professional organization. So I think it tells you a little bit something about that person and their level of commitment to whatever it is that they're a part of, and really gives you the opportunity to connect with other like-minded people and grow yourself in that way. That's something that I really enjoy about Women in Manufacturing as an organization. I first became a member because of Angela Thurman and her company Thurman Co. Offering scholarship opportunities. So that's something that I applied for and received. And it's just been a lot of fun getting to meet so many people across the Houston area, really involved in manufacturing in ways that I had never considered before. see your video reconnected. Is your audio there too, Teresa? Nope. Okay. One of the reasons why I wanted to become a member of Women in Manufacturing, working at a small family-owned manufacturing company, was just the opportunity to grow a little bit and have that exposure to other aspects of manufacturing, and just to really understand the industry on a deeper level. And it's also beneficial, I think, for you to have that kind of comparison of work environments, regardless of what industry you're in. It really helps give you a good perspective, I think, on what other opportunities are out there, whether for you or someone else in your network. That's something that has really been amazing to see in my own life over the last year or so. The more people you get to know, the bigger your network becomes. And it's awesome to be able to pair up people from different sides of your network and make connections in that way, and just see the really cool things that come of that wouldn't have otherwise, right? If you didn't step out and start making those connections in that way. So I think really any kind of networking is a positive. You might not think that's something that you need right now. I know I used to, many years ago, have the perspective that networking was something that you only did when you were trying to get a new job. But really, networking, I think, is maybe not the best term for what it is. It's just a form of relationship building. And we need relationships all the time, no matter what season of life we're in, no matter if we're searching for a new job or not. Just going out there and being able to connect with people and learn from them, and then also share our own knowledge and experience. It's very valuable. And that's something that I really appreciate about the WIM organization and our Texas chapter. Are you back, Teresa? I hear like some scratchy audio. All right, well, are there any questions? If you guys are sticking with us, thank you. You can throw your questions in the comments. I'll see them and I'm happy to answer them. And just talk about women in manufacturing, mentorship, networking. Mentorship, that's something that I am excited about doing at some point in my career. I have not really had that opportunity. I have been mentored earlier in my life as a high school student, and that was a very transformative experience for me. So I really personally know the value of that. And, if you're in a position where you can take someone under your wing and devote a little bit of time to them, you can really pour into someone and make a big difference in their life with, minimal effort on your part. You can make a difference, for one person and then multiple people indirectly by having that kind of close relationship. And I think professionally, mentorship is huge. The professional life that we're living is very different from that of our parents. And so to be able to mentor or be mentored by someone who's kind of been through those transitions is very helpful. Hey, are you back, Teresa? Oh.
Okay, Whitney, can you hear me?
I can. Yay.
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Whitney, can you hear me?
I
Okay,
can hear
good. So great. Yeah, I do agree with you. I used to think of networking as something that was just when a need, trying to find an opportunity,
Mhm.
even for like internal promotion and things like that. But
Yeah.
the part the part of what I do that is fulfilling is connecting with people and
Mhm.
having for them as well, adding some value to the potential to connect up business. But I
Mhm.
do like being able to attend other people that are similar to me and
Yeah.
understand some of the similarities that I have as a
Mhm.
professional to other people and other industries, and then learning some things about
Yeah.
what challenges or what people are really excited about with what they do.
Mhm.
So it is you are right. It's about relationships. It's about kind of building your brand. Um, I was just talking to someone today about if you do them being um, myself personally or other people's personal, I guess, quality. But and that's obviously that goes around through the experts as well. And whenever you're looking at how to do it, but um, that is kind of leads into my next question. Industry support each other and goal
Mhm.
uh, with women in manufacturing, where you kind of encourage that. How does that play out, or do you find that there's a lot of room to face challenges?
So your question is there a lot of room to face challenges as part of women in manufacturing? I just want to make sure I heard all of your question. Um, I do think there is great value in being part of an organization like WIM. As you
Correct.
mentioned
And
at the very, oh,
and I guess maybe you might not have heard everything I said. What I was asking was, how do women go about supporting each other in manufacturing, and
oh,
is that
yeah, that's a great question. How can women, or how do women go about supporting each other in manufacturing? I think just having an organization like WIM in and of itself is huge. I know you mentioned at the very beginning that manufacturing is a male dominated industry. And, whenever you're in the minority of something, it's very easy to feel uh, maybe marginalized a little bit and misunderstood as well, depending on, in your own situation, what the ratio is, right? If maybe at your company, it's kind of 50-50 and you have plenty of other female coworkers that you can connect with, or if maybe your workplace, you're one of just a handful of women, that can be kind of isolating. And so that's why I think connecting in some kind of group, especially something like WIM, can make such a huge difference for you personally. And, those kind of personal benefits can really spill over into your personal life. I've definitely noticed that in my own life, growing personally and professionally. Those aren't necessarily two separate things, right? We talk a lot about professional development, personal development, but they both kind of work together and go hand in hand in that way. And, one of the values that I find in women in manufacturing is just knowing, that I'm not alone in some struggles. I've attended some of the meet and greets, and we've had conversations about, our experiences in the workplace as women and how that has kind of compared to experiences of our male coworkers. And it can be really disheartening at times, but there's also a certain level of comfort in knowing that you're not the only person experiencing those same things, going through those same struggles. And that's huge, right? That's so valuable, just to know that you are not alone and to have a sense of community. I see Ingor's here in the comments, and on her show, she's always talking about Ubuntu. And if John Buglino is still around, Ubuntu, that's an African proverb that roughly means I am because we are. And, just being able to have that sense of community, whether it's something related to work or a hobby of yours, having that community, that support system around you, being able to be more of a full human, right? That's huge. I think so much of American life has been really kind of limited to work and home, and there hasn't really been a whole lot of in between, right? And like bridging those things. And I don't know if that was if that's changed maybe because of COVID, and we sort of realized that we just have one big life. We don't have two separate lives, right? It's all just our life. And maybe we're just a little bit more mindful about what we're doing with our time and our resources. And, it can definitely be a challenge to be a part of some kind of professional organization like WIM, where you've got different events in the evenings, during the week, on weekends. You've got virtual events, and you're on Zoom, and it's really easy to maybe be Zoom fatigued or just to be tired at the end of the day. But to do that for yourself, to make the commitment to go and attend that event and have that face time and that personal connection, and also just make the commitment to yourself, and then to show up for others. Those are like little promises that you're keeping to yourself, and that has an impact across all the different aspects of your life. And so kind of going back to your question about supporting women in manufacturing, I think just in general, we all as humans need support. And one thing that we can do to find that support is think about what really matters most to us. What are our values? Where are our interests? And then see what we can do to dig a little bit deeper into those things. How can you learn more about it? Can you join an organization? Are there community classes that are available, and that you can go and learn with some people who are perhaps your neighbors that you've never met before? Anything that I think you can do to really get out there and connect and go beneath the surface level, right? It's very easy, I think, in a work setting to just kind of stick with the water cooler chatter. Hey, how are you? I'm fine. Man, it's really hot out. And not really get to have any deeper connections than that. And not everybody wants to find that in their workplace either. And so being able to make a commitment to yourself and find something outside of that is big. And then you can be, you also wanted to talk a little bit about mentorship. You can be mentoring people without even realizing it. We set examples by what we do all the time. And, someone can be watching us, observing us, and whatever it is that we're doing, our actions could be speaking to them in a way that we may never know about, right? It could be providing a model that they never had before. We could be inspiring them, to maybe think differently of themselves, go outside their comfort zones, try something they've never tried before. And we may never know that.
So, something that I
I hear you, Teresa.
Okay. Something. Oh, great. Okay. And thank you, Whitney, so much for being patient.
Yeah.
The technology. I mean, I guess I have more to uncover over one little this meeting and live stream. Whenever I go to the networking events, something I notice is there's a good variety of different women that gave me an understanding that manufacturing is important to producers and engineers and administrators and human resources and then of course the fulfillment and operations. So that was one of the things that I thought was really neat about some of those events was seeing how women come together from these different roles and as them sit that each has for each other. Especially if they have very, very different roles in manufacturing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I know. So I had worked at the same manufacturing company for about 9 years and, really didn't know anything about manufacturing until the last couple of years, which is kind of sad to say, sad to think about. I just, I wasn't out there in the machine shop. I wasn't out there on the assembly floor. So just being removed from that process, I just felt kind of like a regular office employee and didn't feel much of a connection to a larger industry other than the one that our products were serving. And, like you were saying, being part of WIM and attending these meet and greets and meeting women who have vastly different professions, but we're all still part of the same industry was just kind of mind blowing. And, it's just really opened me up to a different understanding of the industry. And I do think that's important too, just to feel that connection to something, that's kind of bigger than yourself. And that, speaking about American manufacturing, that's, just huge, so important for our economy. And, especially coming out of COVID with all the discussions about reshoring. And, there's lots of talk about the gray wave, coming retirement of the older generation in manufacturing and what is that going to do to the industry, labor shortages. You talk about AI, Internet of Things, cobots. There's a lot going on in manufacturing. And it's just really great to be exposed to those different aspects. And, I don't know how else you would do it if you weren't part of an organization, unless you spend a lot of your time outside work, just, reading, spending time on YouTube, and doing a lot of self-directed learning, which is also great. But at least for me, having that personal connection makes it more meaningful. And I think I'm also just that kind of learner as well. Having that personal connection just helps it stick in my brain a little bit better. And I maybe take it to heart a little bit more. And, then it becomes more meaningful to you in that way. Are you still there, Teresa? Okay, I see earlier that John had asked how many members
Yes,
are
I'm
in
here.
the. Oh, yay! Okay.
I think I tend to give you a little extra time because sometimes you'll be speaking and then I will think there's some delays. So on my end, from
Okay.
what I can see, so sometimes I worry that I'll be cutting into the middle of a sentence. But
Oh yeah, you're all good.
So that's something that I think is a really big deal, especially in manufacturing and where I think for sorry. So I think that's something that is going to I do just kind of diving into technology and AI just because it's always better to be kind of in the spearhead of something that's changed than to be chasing it later. So I think that that's a great opportunity for women though, because STEM is such a big part of what education is putting in front of girls and women, and it's being really so. I think that especially for women, being able to kind of, like you said, get some exposure, and being able to talk to each other as well from different areas of an industry, that's something that's really really great for me to be able to kind of jump into. So actually having some exposure to the manufacturing industry has been just so great for me personally and as a professional, through the interactions and just being a listener in the conversations.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's really great. So Karen was commenting for John Bugino that the Texas chapter is very strong. It looks like there's 1,300. And if I'm seeing that correctly, I guess men are welcome to participate as well.
Yes, yeah. So that's something that's really neat about women in manufacturing.
And do you have men that have your program and at your, at whatever level? Go ahead.
Sorry, I know we were talking over each other a little bit. Yeah, so even though the name Women in Manufacturing might make you think that it's a women's only organization, it's not. It's open to allies as well.
I was curious if you have a lot of male support in the industry, if
Yeah, I can't speak for other chapters, but I know in the Texas chapter not the most recent, but at an earlier Houston meet and greet this summer, we had, I think, 2 or 3 men show up, and that was the first time that I'd been to a meet and greet where men had shown up. There have been other events where men have registered and not ended up coming to the event that evening. So that was really exciting. I hope that, we're able to kind of get the word out about that. And, so we can have more allies join us. It's really all about lifting up manufacturing. And if you know the saying, a rising tide lifts all boats, that's one of my favorites. And, I really feel that way about the organization. Yeah, Karen says, allyship looks good on you. That's definitely true. I think it's so important for men and women to support each other in their endeavors and, to not have like He-Man Woman Haters Club kind of thing. And to just all be together and realize that there are valuable things we can learn from each other.
That's awesome. It's always nice to see that that there isn't like an encouragement in it. So this other question I wanted to ask was, what's a challenge that you hope to change this coming year?
A challenge
for manufacturing and for women.
Okay, a challenge for manufacturing and a challenge for women that I would like to change this year. Yeah, that's a good one. So I work in marketing, and it's been interesting being part of a marketing agency as opposed to being part of an in-house marketing team, because I have been able to see that some of the struggles that I experienced on an in-house team were not just struggles of that particular company. It seems to almost be a universal struggle when it comes to marketing and just having a kind of fixed mindset when it comes to marketing, and thinking that social media is like a phase, even though it's 2023 and social media has been around for 20 years. So that's something that I would really love to see change. Not quite sure how to change that. So if any of y'all have ideas, let me know. I would love to figure that out. A challenge for women in manufacturing. I really love the work that like Megan Zimba is doing, and Andrew Crow, really just trying to get to the younger generation to help them know about the opportunities that are in manufacturing. So, I know women in manufacturing, a lot of the roles that we are in are more of like the office side roles, which is totally valuable. I'm not discounting that at all. We need all people, all positions. I think it would be so cool to see more women in production. I think about someone like Barbie the welder too. It's just really empowering, I think, to see women in those types of positions, and I think remind ourselves and remind men that we are capable of those types of positions. I mean, we did those things during World War II when the men were not here, right? We are capable of doing those things. So that's something that I would love to see change. Probably, I don't know if it'll be in the next year, but as the younger generation goes through school, my hope is that they are exposed more and more to opportunities in manufacturing, and that they explore some of those fields that we have just, for so long thought of as being exclusive for men.
So I think that's so important. I had a like hands-on, and I actually was the one in the. This was back when I was married, but I was the one that would get home at the end of the day and have to like take off the shoes and wash my hands and kind of like be the one to go up and like, change, because the work I was doing was very like, in kind of like the dirt, and there was a lot of like just a different kind of environment with hard hats and stuff like that.
Mhm.
And it was definitely just a good experience to kind of do that for a bit. But then I also kind of like, after a couple of years, I just kind of didn't really necessarily associate myself with that particular type of work. So like at first it was very empowering, but after a while I kind of did want to go back to the more softer side of things. But I feel like it should be at least something that someone, if they are open to trying, can get into those environments and enjoy it. But I also like that for women, we can kind of go either way. You can kind of change it up if I know after a while I got tired of the activity and also just some of the things that go along in that. Great to see, especially in your networking events, and mostly the one. I mean, I only go to the ones here in Texas, but how I think, going back to what I mentioned earlier, how the women in the office environment, how they kind of come together, laugh, and talk about what they do, and kind of appreciate each other. So you're right. It is it is. So we have a few minutes until we reach the hour, and I think anything that I didn't think of that the people that have come to the to our conversation and have been viewing might benefit.
Are you asking if there's something else that we haven't talked about that might be beneficial? Ooh, that's a good question. Let me think about that for a second. But I did want to say that I love that you had that experience of, having a more hands-on physical type job within manufacturing. And that you even switched. I think that's great to have such varied experiences. I know, like my dad worked at the same company for 40 plus years, and I know some other people at my previous company who have, a similar employment history where they've been for the same at the same place for decades. And I think that is awesome for the people who want that type of experience, but it's not for everybody. And I do feel that there's a lot of value in trying on different hats and seeing, what type of work environment you like, whether you like the more hands-on type work, or if you would rather be doing computer work. That's all very valuable. And I think we very often look down on people who maybe change careers, change jobs, and we think that maybe they're job hoppers or they can't commit to something. And maybe that's true for some people, but I think it's just really we're taking advantage of the opportunities that we have to find really what works best for us. And, I don't think it hurts to have more experience. I think it just gives you um, a broader perspective and maybe a deeper understanding of yourself, and then also of others. Just really being able to say that you've walked a mile in someone's shoes, right? You've had that type of job before, so you have that firsthand experience. That's very significant in my mind. So if there's anything that I want to leave everyone with, if you're watching live or if you're watching the replay, I just want to say, if you're part of the manufacturing organization, part of the manufacturing industry, go to womeninmanufacturing.org and you can see if there is a chapter in your state. You don't have to be a member to attend events. You can register as a guest, as a non-member, pay a small fee, go and check it out, see if it's for you before you commit to a membership. Or if you work for a big company, you might want to even see if your company is a corporate member. And if that's the case, then you can have your membership paid for by their corporate membership. So you can look into taking advantage of that, and then, being able to attend in-person and virtual women in manufacturing events. If you're not part of the manufacturing industry, I would just encourage you to find some other type of activity or organization that you can participate in to meet some like-minded people and build your community. I think that's what I would like to leave you guys with today. And I see you're still on mute. So I'll stop talking because I know there's a delay, and see if you are able to come back.
Sorry, I muted because I was thinking the more I took away from my side of this, the more Stater's side would be for speaking. So sorry about that. But I do want to quote Shannon Eaps in the chat. Whitney, you're awesome. Thank you so much for your time and sharing about what you do and how women are being supported and empowered and working alongside men in the manufacturing industry.
Yeah, it's been my pleasure. Thank you so much for having me as your guest. I look forward to your Case of the Mondays show, and I hope to see you at another Women in Manufacturing Houston meet and greet soon.
Thank you, Whitney. And thank you, everyone, for attending. We reached the hour, and I hope to tech, but another opportunity to speak with you and to talk about, dive more deep into some of the topics that are related around the industry.
Yes, I would be happy to come and chat with you again. Always happy to talk manufacturing and women in manufacturing.
Thank you, Adam. Thanks for coming. All right, everybody. Have a great night. Thank you, Whitney. I'm going to go ahead and end the broadcast.
Bye, guys.